Games. My name is Steven Stewart, and I'm here today for more Surviving Reelfoot unfinished business content. Today, I will be interviewing Skyler. Skyler, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, and just so the audience knows, this is gonna be a first for us. This will be a part one because I have to bounce in 35 minutes. So we're gonna whet the appetite for everything Skyler's to say, and then we'll have to continue this the second day.
A
But that
little
won't stop
teaser
us.
for y'all to come back.
Exactly. So, Skylar, how have you been since the game concluded?
I've been pretty well actually. I mean, a lot has happened since the game.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I got engaged, so I'm soaking in this engagement as long as I can. Um,
I mean, you're
but
the
I've
true
been
winner
really,
of the season, right?
I am. Austin can sit aside for second place. I'm really the first place winner. But
I
yeah,
mean,
no, I've been well. So it's really different compared to when I played last time. Definitely way more happier how it ended than last time.
is it different simply because of how the game concluded? Was it different just because like mentality walking into the game and expectations?
Walking into the game, honestly, the first day, like say the first night we slept, I
Mm-hmm.
had to think and be like, why did I do this? It was really it was really just the way it ended. I was happy with my placement. I'm happy with the people I met because there are a few people that I've never really played with or I
Mm-hmm.
talked to, but really never got to know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but overall, it was a really fun journey for me, even though every night I really sat there like, oh, I'm done after a long time. Like, this is my last live game for a very long time.
Well, let's kind of talk about Bluff Ranch happened 2 years ago. Looking back on the game, what were your takeaways from that experience, and how did you want to change coming into this game?
I wanted to be quiet and not call people out and be mean. Apparently, I was so mean, and I mean, I'm glad Amber was here and she took that spot for me. Um, but overall, I just wanted to walk in more with a positive attitude and
Mhm.
just not overthink it. Like I overthinked my first game. I think I went in more with a higher ego for
Mhm.
some reason, even though I barely watched Survivor and never did an org or a live game. I just kind of surprised myself. As this time, my ego was set lower.
Mhm.
Um, and I just went in with, a positive mentality and just, said, if I make it far, I make it far. If I don't, I don't. It's okay.
Mhm.
It's a game. I made new friends.
So, what did you do to prep or prepare for this season?
I went to the gym for 30 minutes one time.
Perfect. And you're
I
like,
was
I'm good. I'm ready.
there. That's really all I did. I hear people saying they were working out or they watched Survivor and all this stuff. As I'm like, let's just go at it blindfolded again. I really like that.
Had you watched season 10 last year?
I was on production last year.
Okay.
So I got to see a little bit of it. I was on the media part as long as being Amos's little elf. I just kind of follow Amos wherever I went. He went.
So, coming into this season, it's an all-star season. I guess before the cast was released, was there, because that happened a day or two before the game began for the players, was there anyone that you were really looking forward to seeing or dreading seeing play?
I knew Nate would be playing just
Hmm.
because he's a challenge beast and like it would be silly to not have him come back. And that was one person I was so excited to play with. Since Jeff played with him in his season 8, I thought it would be cool to actually work with him in the
Hmm.
returning season. Um, the one person I did not want to see come back came back, and that was Carlos.
Okay, let's talk about Carlos. So, in your original season of Bluff Ranch, you get an unfortunate swap. You and Carlos are in the minority of a tribe, and the two of you have some words with each other and have kind of have an exchange at that swap, right? And so, I was wondering your thoughts, given that Carlos is one of the players from your original season who returned, and you end up playing with him.
See, I had more words than he had. Definitely was like angry in my season at him for no reason, for just playing the game. But I didn't trust him. And when I saw he was coming back, I was like, well, this could be my redemption or this can be a total failure where he just targets me.
Mm-hmm.
But I adore Carlos. I think he's a great guy. Like outside the game, like we get along. He's funny. Like we would be a great duo to actually play together if we could play together. I just don't think it ever will work out in our favor to ever play together in an ally.
So you have a couple other players from Original Tribe who returned for this season. You have Todd, Lydia, Taylor. Yeah, those are the other 3 players returning. Oh, and Frank. Can't forget Frank.
Yeah, I actually really wanted Taylor and Lydia to be on my same tribe because I really, really wanted to play with them. In my season with Lydia, she came over during the Prisoner at War, and again, I yelled at her and made her feel unwelcomed. So and after the game, we were cool. Like, she's a really cool person. I adore her. She's hilarious. If you ever get the chance to like talk to her one-on-one, she always has me laughing uncontrollably. And Taylor, we're cat moms. Like, it was actually funny. During the whole meeting thing, Ame, me, and Taylor were gonna pull an Amber for the Cat Mom Alliance. But obviously, that never happened.
Oh, we were robbed of it.
Yeah, you would, and it would have been really funny. Instead, you got the Tattoo Sisters, Ame and I, which, first of all, we don't have matching tattoos anymore, so we're not Tattoo Sisters. For anybody that's curious, we no longer have the same tattoo. But, no, and Frank, I really wanted to work with Frank again. Like, I was talking to him when the cast was revealed, and I really wanted to make it a merge with him. And then after hearing his interview of, like, how he apparently couldn't trust me, kind of made me sad. Like, I actually wanted to make it far with Frank along with everybody else, you know? I don't think there's one person that didn't want to work with Frank. But really, I was so excited to have the people from season 9 come and play besides Carlos.
Was there anyone else from that in the cast reveal that you looked at and said, yeah, this is the person I want to find and work with?
Austin was one of them. There was one more. Obviously, I got my mom. I really wanted to work with my mom. Amber, I wanted to work with Amber. Who else? Sharif. I really wanted to work with Sharif.
Okay.
I didn't get to talk to him in season 10 that much. But I hear great things about him, how nice he is, how good of a player he is. And then when I met him during the little, like, in the beginning, while we're getting our bags checked, like, he's a really cool dude. Like, he loves his wife. He just is caring. And, like, I just felt like you needed someone out there when you're like, I cried so many times out there. It was ridiculous. But with him, I felt like okay to cry in front of, like, he's not going to take advantage and mock me for it. And be like, oh, Skyler's really emotional. Let's get her out. Like, he wanted to hear me out. And honestly, to me, that's a big respect out of everybody because he was willing to help people. And instead of helping himself, from what I saw, he wanted to be there for others. And I love a player like that because that's how I wanted to be this season. I wanted to be not like yelling and screaming at people, but definitely like for someone to come and talk to me and just know like I'm here. Because that's what I do on a daily basis. I work with kids when they're upset or anything. Like, I'm the person they come to. Instead, all these people like didn't want to come to me. And I mean, my season 9 kind of explains why not.
Well, thankfully, this season was a very different experience then.
It was. My game was all based off luck. It really was. I got the best luck, which we'll talk about that further on.
I mean, luck, yes and no. I mean, you still went to a good share of pre-merge tribal councils.
Oh, yeah, I know. Where I had my name written down every single tribal I went to from then on.
I haven't tallied up the amounts of times players have had their names written down, but let's see. You had 2 votes in that first tribal council. You had another vote in the third tribal council. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 there in the pre-merge. And then you caught 1 at Taylor's vote. So that's 8.
Oh.
And then there's no voting, that we don't have a little voting confessionals for your vote out. So I don't, but let's see. When you went and voted out, it was, you probably caught like 13 votes at least this season, maybe more.
It felt like a whole bunch more. It really did. Especially doing the Taylor vote out, I was about to like lash out at everybody again because, well, I thought it was kind of like unnecessary. I actually like, we'll get there, but that's kind of why I wanted to get Josh out was because I thought he wrote my name down, and literally every person that came in the jury, did you write my name down? Did you write my name down? And I finally figured out with Carlos and his little smirk, he's like, I did. It's like, come on.
I mean, we'll talk about it. might not be tonight, but we'll talk about it. So the game starts. You're split into 3 tribes. You are on the yellow tribe, Galelo. Now, let's talk about your initial impressions or thoughts about the players you're with. So you have Corey, who played season 1.
I had no idea who Corey was. Obviously, from being season 1, I've never seen him on any social media, any like even like or live games. Like, I guess I don't follow all the live games. I didn't know there was like millions of them.
You didn't memorize the wiki pages? Come on.
I didn't. I know, right? I mean, I memorized that book that they gave us, this little survival book. I got that memorized.
Which would have been great at Final 5.
Oh, I know. I kept thinking it was happening like the next day or that day. It was ridiculous of how much I memorized it. But I had no idea. I thought he would kind of be the easy vote because I felt like he was an older season, as everybody on that tribe was 8, 9, and 10. So I was hoping like he would be the easy just first vote. I thought he was funny. I mean, every morning he would wake up out of his trash bag and the way he would be like, fuck, I hate mornings, like just made the whole morning. But otherwise, I really didn't connect on a personal level with him until after the game, where he was like, I was voted out and it was the after party and I got to see everybody in their drunk moments. Yeah.
What about Brent?
Oh, I really wanted to work with Brent. Actually, as soon as the cast was revealed, I messaged Brent right away because I had Jeff and Anessa from season 8 tell me that I should work with Brent. He's very loyal. You really like him. Like, you guys will get along perfectly, blah, blah, blah. So I reached out to him. And I was the original number 1. I have full proof that I was the original number 1, unless, you know, he has other messages from other people. But I was sad when he got swapped onto the other tribe because he was someone that I felt would keep me safer than anybody else on my tribe.
Did you know he had the yellow idol?
So I knew he had the clue. He told me about the clue. He read me the clue. But I actually didn't know he had the idol until he played the idol, which I think was smart on his part not to tell me. Because as soon as we swapped, and then people were like, oh, Brent has the idol, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, he does not. I would know if he has the idol. And then I hear about his idol, and I was like, well, now I look like a liar. Like,
what can you do?
Right? But he was one person I fully wanted to work with through the whole game.
What about Adam?
So Adam, I didn't know much about him. I know he was an early vote out in season 8. But as time went on, he became one of my favorites. We went on just walks. Like, we didn't even talk about the game. We would just go on walks and just like mess around. And he was someone that I felt I could be more real with. And like, we didn't have to talk about game in that moment. I did want to work with him. Just the way it worked out in the game, it just was not meant to be. And that's why I had to write his name down doing that. It's better him than me. Sorry, Adam.
What about Carly?
Oh, she was another person I really wanted to work with. She's my Taylor Swift fan. I adore her. I needed a Swiftie out there with me. So the fact that I was with her was perfect. And she was someone I felt like actually had my back and wanted to work with me. Like, I felt like everybody wanted to work with me until I watched the videos back and I realized, wow, if we would have lost a tribal or a challenge, I would have been screwed and I would have been voted out. People just wanted me out. Yeah. People wanted me out early. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I'm still trying to figure it out to this day of why people wanted me out so bad.
So, and your ideal first boot from the tribe would have been Corey, or would have been someone else?
It would have been Corey, fully. I would have voted Corey out, no problem, no like regrets or anything. Sorry, Corey. I doubt you're watching, but like I would have had no problem writing his name down. It would have been one easy vote for me. But that's always the problem. If it's an easy vote, is it really happening?
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
So, but yeah, no, I really wanted to work with Corey, or not Corey, Carly. Too many C's. But again, I think she was more loyal to the swap tribe than she would have been to me.
Because it was interesting this season. I was like, is Yellow going to stay together, but Yellow kind of over the course of the game was really kind of fractured in half.
Oh yeah, I love being on the Yellow tribe. I really did. Megan taught me a lot, and I appreciate her and her knowledge, and just hearing her and talking to her. I watched her make fire. I really did not like having to pick up sticks every 30 minutes. But she also taught me that like it's okay to take naps. Like you have nothing going on, just take a nap, because I'm usually one of those that's like, if I fall asleep, it's gonna be just like Aaron. We're gonna vote him out or vote me out. I'm like, I don't want that. But we kept winning, so I took naps. It was so nice. But then when we started losing, I couldn't have my nap, so I was getting cranky. So it was really challenging.
It becomes a vicious cycle of challenged, loss, scramble, tribal council, and immediately just rinse and repeat, and you're just like, I have no time to breathe.
Exactly. And when I was on the Yellow tribe, I was just like, oh, all right, I'll pick up sticks since this is all I got to do today.
Is this what winning is like? I don't know.
Yeah, like on my season, we lost every single challenge except I think 2 in the beginning, the reward challenge, and just the reward challenge. So being on a winner's tribe was actually really, really nice.
Anything else you want to say about Megan?
Oh, well, I did want Megan out early on before the swap. That was a for sure thing. She was one I saw in the cast reveal. It's like, all right, I want to work with her, but also I don't want her to make it like far, because she's a challenge beast. She's really good at this game. I like how she said something about being social, how she wasn't social, but she was social in her own way of making people, like she made me feel safe and secure. And it's so weird. Like now thinking about it, I kind of was not nice about her social game, but thinking about it, I was like, she did a really good job, like to make everybody feel safe, like she was working with them, which she really wasn't. She's a really good player. So I was scared of her. She was one female that I was terrified of.
And finally, you have the return of the Todd Father to your tribe.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Todd Father. But I knew when he asked me if we were going to do this together, blah, 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 I knew it wasn't going to work out. He's a very loyal guy. And for me is like, okay, I can be loyal at this moment of time, but as soon as something shifts, I'm sorry, I'm going to hop overboard and go with the people I want to be loyal with. And Todd Father is one of those that's like, I can't read him. I can't tell if he really wants to work with me or if he just wants to go against me and just telling me things I want.
So what were the tribe dynamics like those first 3 days?
I was definitely the loudest. Shocker. But I think it was pretty nice. I feel like it was kumbaya for a while. People just relaxing, having a good time. I didn't feel any honestly, if there's anybody I would want to be stuck in the woods with for that long a time and kept winning, it would be that group of people, because they kind of mellowed me out. Even though I was loud, they still mellowed me out in a way of like, oh, okay, this is okay. This is normal. We're fine. I just don't know what this normal is. Like, but yeah, no, I think it was nice. I saw more of like Adam, Corey, and Todd walking away a lot. Like, the guys strong, and a part of me was like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like the looks of that. there's already like 7 girls in this game, and now there's 3 dudes like just walking off, and it's like, no, okay, let me get Megan, Carly, and I. At least we can come together and maybe pull Brent in, and Brent can work both sides. Obviously, that didn't go as planned because we all swapped, and well, yellow just kind of crumbled. So
the game opens, you have that first reward challenge. And this is the challenge where you ultimately have to unscramble a phrase at the very end. How was this challenge for you?
Well, we got disqualified. So it kind of like, I don't blame anybody. They had the tape on Ziploc bags and everything, and Todd accidentally grabbed one, but the tape was caught onto another one. And when Adam, I think, ran to get it, all ours were gone, and we had 4 of them. And we told Parker, and Parker's like, yellow, disqualified. And I was like, great, this is how it's going to happen. The curse still remains for me.
But thankfully it's not immunity, and so it doesn't matter as much.
Exactly, but it would have been, like, I forgot even what the reward was, but after that we kept winning the reward, so it was okay.
So how was that first night with your tribe?
It was nice. Todd kept the fire going. I was freezing. I was cuddling Carly as much as I can. I had to wake up in the middle of the night. Instead of a poncho, I brought a rain suit, like pants and a jacket and all. And I had my leggings on, my shirt, and then my extra shirt I brought, and I put my rain suit on because I was freezing. It was too cold out there. And that's what I sat there. I'm like, what was I thinking? This is my vacation of the year, and I am out here sleeping on the ground.
People always, whenever I tell people, like, yeah, I just enjoy starving in the wilderness for my vacation, we're like, why do you do that? I'm like, oh, it's great. I come back and there's air conditioning and food, and I can trust people. It makes me love the work.
Oh, see, my trusting in people, like, it didn't work. Like, when Jeff proposed, I had to sit there for, like, I said it at least 6 times. Are you joking? Like, I didn't believe it was actually happening. I don't trust people. I have low trust in people now than I did. But I'm all caught up on my sleep now. I'll never take advantage of my bed and my pillows and the time ever again. Ever again.
So that first night, just how much sleep do you think you got?
Maybe like 3 hours. Because I woke up and like my body was aching and my eyes were like, I already have like these big old eyes, so like when they start like going down, like that's how you know I didn't get enough sleep, and you should stay at least 10 feet away from me because I'm gonna get upset. But it was helpful because I took some naps, like 10-minute naps in between each thing. So
on day 2, you have your second reward challenge. This is where you have to flip the tiles, and some of the tiles have some things that happen. How was this for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I love memorizing. I thought I was good at memory until I ran into Carly, and I was like, wow, I thought I was good until you came around, so thanks. But memory is actually one of my strong suits. I did it in school. That's how I passed school, was studying and memorizing the book. So it came really natural for me. Blue said something about working together.
May comes over and says, hey, we want to work with you and get out red.
Yeah, and I was kind of down for it. I looked at my tribe members, and I kind of whispered it. Well, maybe not whisper, but I thought I was whispering. And I didn't think they were on board with it as much as I was, because I thought it would be cool to have blue and yellow come together, only for my benefit. For my benefit only, because I felt like I could connect more, like with Reynolds, Amber, Ame, possibly Frank. I was hoping Austin, but I didn't know how. I only met Austin for like 20 minutes for banana pudding, and when Jeff and I drove through from my game. So I really didn't know him much. but I really wanted to work with him. That didn't work out. I don't think I helped Blue at all.
Did anyone get sent back to your camp for this challenge?
Tony did. Tony came to our camp, which I adore Tony. I really do. I was scared for him to actually play because he was my tribe handler in my season. And I'm like, this man saw me from waking up to the morning to falling asleep at night. He knows everything about me, my confessionals, everything. So I was terrified for him that, like, I didn't think he would actually want to play with me. And I think he did for a little bit. But then after he wrote my name down multiple times, I did start losing my trust on him.
I mean, that would do it.
Yeah, so. And then Adam went to the Blue camp, which was actually a good part because we wanted to hear what the Blue camp was doing because they had a lot of high energy in that camp. Like, I could feel it as soon as they were calling people onto the Blue. I felt the energy. And I was like, I'm kind of curious on how they're all working together. Like,
what did Adam say?
Apparently they were chaotic. They were looking for idols. Adam's sitting there in a hammock. Alma and Amber are gone. Everybody's looking for an idol. And it was, I guess, crazy. So I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, oh, well, I'm glad I'm not over there. I wanted to be on the Blue camp, but I'm glad I'm not because my idol looking, I'm not good at it. I didn't even know there was a clue at the merge piece. I had no idea. I have no clue. I'm the only person in this game that would have never thought, hey, merge piece, clue to an idol. I just sat there and didn't even dawn on me.
At that point, you're so hungry and there's food and you have a list of things you should always think about. And it's just, sometimes it just slips your mind.
Exactly. So it's not my fault. I saw the food and I was craving chicken nuggets the whole time I was out there. The whole time I wanted a chicken nuggets from McDonald's, a large Coke, and a medium fry. That's all I wanted. So the fact that there was chicken, game over for me. I was happy at that point.
Your next reward challenge, this is the endurance challenge. You were holding up boxes with your legs. Who was your partner for this?
Carly.
And how'd you all do?
We didn't make it. I mean, I want to say we made it 45 minutes. I could be completely wrong. I was ready to drop. I'm more of an arm, like I could have done like the holding my arm out or up and stuff, but my legs just don't work that way. I'm kind of old now, so like my legs lock up or it hurts when I move a certain way. Carly and I tried to sing a little bit of Taylor Swift while we were waiting. Then I got distracted because I wanted to dance. So we dropped. Our store brought a big crock pot out because they were handing out food and stuff. And we're like, Carly, are you ready? Like, let's drop. And she agreed. We dropped. And all of a sudden, we got a bottle of water. That's all. That's all that was in there. And then nobody wanted to drop for the Tito's and orange juice. So Carly and I got that, and we dumped out the Tito's and orange juice and just did the ice. I wasn't going to do alcohol with, like, nothing in my stomach. That just didn't seem smart, and Carly didn't want to drink it either. So Corey got to smell it. He really just wanted to smell it, so we let him smell it, but we dumped it out and poured our water into the ice, so we had ice cold water instead.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. And I was super excited because Jeff brought out Oreos and peanut butter. I was like, cool, nobody's going to drop out. I can get down on some peanut butter right now. And then I think Sharif and them dropped for it. And I was walking up to grab it and they dropped. And I was like, okay, well, there that goes. But we won that one because of Brett and Megan. Literally, that's why I wanted to get Megan out. I knew she's really good at endurance and just good at challenges. So,
who used the cop that night?
I actually don't remember. All I know is I used the pillow and a blanket. Like, that pillow was my security. I loved that pillow, and I was so sad I couldn't bring it with me when we merged. It was so sad. That's all I wanted was that pillow.
And then, end of the day, you have your first immunity challenge, and this is has a swimming component, which is a struggle for some people. Has some throwing some balls at buckets, has a snake puzzle at the end. How was this challenge for you?
So I was a swimmer.
How you survived? I can tell.
I'm alive. I'm a good swimmer. I grew up in California, so going to the beach was literally all we did, and also swimming in our own pool. So I figured, hey, I can swim with waves splashing on me, so I can swim in a lake. No, the wind was pushing Lauren. I actually screamed at Lauren. I was like, can't you come a little closer? And so I had to hang on for a little bit. And I felt like people, if they could see, I'm glad they didn't zoom in on the live because I was swimming on my back, spitting the water. I looked like a water fountain. And then I see Clark almost like drowning. And then I really wanted to go help him. And then Ame's looking at me like, I can't do this. I'm like, yes, you can. You keep going. But it was really hard. Like I got out and like my heart, like my chest was hurting. I was lightheaded. I was cold. I thought I was going to die out there. It was scary. I actually never went back in that lake ever. Even when they had it, like one of them, when you had to throw the balls and there had to be someone in the lake to get the ball, I was like, no, that lake traumatized me. I haven't been in a lake since. I've been in the pool, but not a lake. But I was glad we won. I was scared that I was going to make our team fall behind when I was swimming coming back because I didn't know how good the other Ame and Clark were. But honestly, that was the scariest challenge I've ever done. And I was proud that I actually made it back with a decent time and that we didn't have to go back out for a second ball. So I'm glad we won that because I was really, really scared. I was going to cost that for my tribe. But luckily.
So you're kind of near the end of day 2. Like, who the tribe are you feeling the most comfortable with?
Brent and Carly.
Okay.
Those two. Adam, I had my trust with him, but in the crate one when you had to hold with your feet, so we had to be touching our mat. So I was still touching my mat. I laid down on my belly with my feet on the mat, talking to Ame and Amber about what Adam told me, and Amber and Ame was like, I literally went to the bathroom. So they were telling me things, and then I look over at Adam, and you can see Adam is like a little worried. And then we get to camp, and it seemed like he was a little more frantic than normal, and I was like, that's like a sign of someone that's not telling the truth, in my opinion. If you're telling the truth, why are you all like, are we good still? Are we okay? Like, are we good? I was like, I said we were good, but you're making me feel a little uneasy by saying we're good now. But I adore Adam. Nothing has changed. I love Adam, and I actually wanted to work with him as the game went on. But just in that moment, I was like, but Carly and Brent were like my closest people. I felt like I trust.
If you had to rank it from top to bottom of your tribe, of most important, least important, what would it look like at the end of the second day?
Brent, Carly, Adam, Todd, Megan, Corey.
I guess Parker has a question. Is that at one point on the original Galelo, Adam said he held a public forum for the tribe at camp. When did that happen? Do you remember that?
I actually don't remember, Parker. I am so sorry. I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that, to be honest. I probably was just like watching everybody because there was times that like everybody would talk and I would just kind of sit there because I was like, if I keep speaking my opinion, that's how I became a big threat last time. So this time, like, I'll talk in personal level, but not put my opinion in big group situations.
All right. So Unfortunately, we're going to need to wrap this up right now because I have to go bounce. But this is going to be a first. This is going to be the end of part one of my discussion with Skyler, and we will resume with part two, picking up from where we left off. Skyler, I just want to say thank you so much for this opening 35 minutes, just
Oh
to
yeah.
like give everyone a taste of what's to come. Any small previews right now you want to shout out for the people?
Well, if you want to see why Frank got out and what I have to say about after the tribal of seeing what people's reactions were, I would definitely come back and watch. And me voting out my mom is kind of a big deal, apparently, to other people when I have more to say about bigger alliances than me and Ame.
All right. Well, you heard it here. Stay tuned. We will be back in the near future with more from Skyler. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you. See you guys soon.